everybody, and welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. Today we're going to be doing some headers on this car here. This is a BMW 328. This is a 2009 model, and this particular model is the N51, the super low emissions version of the car. And I've been getting a lot of engine codes, and they're making me mad, and we can't seem to clear them up. So we're going to be doing some catless headers. These are Flashark catless headers, and as always, we will have a discount code here and a link for these down in the description below. Before we get started on today's project, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, like if you enjoy this type of content. Also make sure to check us out on Instagram, Tenza_Motorsports. A few things before we get started. You do not have to have a lift to do this. Obviously it makes it slightly easier, but I've done these on the ground before. It's not anything super crazy. The only downside to doing BMW engines is they've got them at a fairly aggressive tilt. So when you're doing the headers, getting the bolts off, you're actually coming down and then kind of up at the bolts, which kind of makes it a bit of a pain. I have it on the lift mostly because, well, I've got access to one, which helps, but I also want to make sure that when I come across things that are difficult or abnormal, that I'm showing you guys good angles, and that this video isn't just like shoving the camera down into an engine bay where you can't see anything. I'm actually able to get underneath the car and we'll be able to see what's going on. I have not even unboxed these yet, so hopefully they are the correct ones and they're not damaged. Looks like whoever was shipping these tried to break some things, so hopefully we don't have any issues. But I want to get these unboxed. We'll do that on camera, and then I'll get underneath the car and make sure that all of the measurements are correct and that it's good for this car. So let's get this unboxed and get it put on the vehicle. All right, here they are unboxed, and they come with everything you expect. We've got pre and post cat. I won't be using the post cat after getting a tune from Rev Match. And then here on this side, same thing, pre and a post cat. They do give you some plugs, so we'll make sure to tack those in place. New hardware for the flanges on this side going to the car, which is nice because oftentimes the hardware on the vehicle breaks when you go to pull it off. You get gaskets, these flange gaskets here, and then these ones. Now, when I looked these gaskets up, they were individual round ones. I'm not sure if we're gonna be using these. Sometimes it is a smart idea. In fact, most of the time it's a smart idea when you get something like this to basically take these gaskets and chuck them and just go get some OEM ones. You're already saving a ton of money by going through Flashark and then obviously using this code here. You're saving a bunch of money. It's probably a good idea to just go spend like the 40 or 50 bucks and get some actual like replacement gaskets, some real ones. The gaskets on the E46s that we've done in the past actually have like a built-in heat shield that comes off at like a 45-degree angle, and that's why I make sure to put those gaskets back on every time I do one of those. All right, so I am jumping ahead just a little bit to talk about something you need to do right now before you put the headers in the car. As you can see, they're installed, and you can see that I've got an O2 sensor in there. When I first went to go put this in, it would not thread in. The reason is that there was some weld that was in there that was blocking the O2 sensor from threading in. Before you put these on the car, make sure you clean all that out. I was able to use this tool here. This is a die grinder, 90-degree die grinder with a carbide bit on it. I was able to get up in there and clean those out. If I didn't have this, I would have been in real big trouble. So anyways, do that before you go to install these, and then you don't have to worry about it. This is actually easier than the E46 in my opinion. I moved this out of the way, and normally you would have like your EGR, but I've already got that blocked off. And I just used my Milwaukee Insider with the 3/8, my Astro 3/8 deep socket and a couple extensions, just kind of depending on what I needed. And then this helped out a lot too, because then I could see what was going on down behind there. This is my Techlong. This scope camera I reviewed on my channel a while back. I'll have the link to this in the description if anybody's interested in that. So now we're gonna lift the car up. We're gonna go underneath. I'm gonna take my Gen 2 3/8 and see if we can't bust a couple bolts loose. If not, we'll pull out the 1/2 inch. I'm just curious to see if this will pull those really rusty ones off the bottom of the manifold. Oh, I'm a little surprised that actually came out. That actually spun off. I tried my 3/8, it didn't work, so 1/2 inch high torque, and there you go. We'll get the other ones out. All right, this is where we are now. I've got these taken off. I disconnected here. There's a couple E-torques, and then there was a plate here, and I dropped that down, and now I've got it just on this strap. I'm gonna go back up top because I wanna see what it's doing up there. I can't seem to figure out how to slip these out. So I'm gonna go back up top, lower the car, and see what's going on, and maybe we can finagle them out the bottom. All right, well, I just realized my GoPro wasn't recording. I was gonna show how to remove this because I didn't see a lot of videos that talked about it really. So what I did was, this is bank 1, so the cylinders 1 through 3. I had this pushed all the way up, so something like this. This little balancer dampener thing was right here, and this flange was all the way up against all of these O2 sensor wiring. And that gave me just enough room to take the other one. It's kind of shaped like this going into the engine. And I pushed it up against this, and then I was able to kind of like roll it out like this. Here they are side by side, and I want to mic a few surfaces here and just see how different they actually are. I am going to be using gaskets like these here. The ones that came on this were just a flat gasket, and I would assume that the only way to do this is really to go like this. So I'm not even sure why they included those if you've got this style here. So let's mic these and see what's going on here. So we've got basically exactly 40 millimeters across there. And then on this guy here, we've got 40.95. So 0.95 different millimeters on the outside. And then on the inside, I've got a 37.13. And then the inside, I've got a 36.67, which is, again, pretty small differences. And then I also wanted to see the height, because I was a little bit worried about like how far in these sat. So let's see if we can get kind of just like a reading of how tall it is. So it looks like that's around 10 millimeters, right around 10 millimeters. They look pretty good in terms of fitment. So I'm going to put the new gaskets on it. I just got some Felpro gaskets from a local auto parts store. And the other thing that I'm gonna do before we start really bolting things up is I wanna do a test fit. And I wanna see which O2 bung for this and the Bank 2 would be better for the O2 sensors. So sometimes you do run into some fitment issues with these. So I wanna just see which one would it be better to put the O2 sensor here or here. All right, I have the headers test fit in there, but I did end up going through the top. And the reason for that is that Bank 2, for whatever reason, will not come up through the bottom. I thought that was kind of interesting. Most time when you do catless headers, they're way easier to put on. And they were, but for some reason, it just would not come up through the bottom. So I was able to actually come in through the top here, drop in Bank 2, and then Bank 1. So I just have one nut on each one. I'm gonna go underneath, see how the O2 bungs fit and how everything looks underneath there. And if everything looks good, I will be removing these, tacking the bung caps down, the ones that we're not using, and then I'm going to put the gaskets on. I think it's best to slide these into the engine bay, put the gaskets on, and then install them, because those gaskets will like fall off and you can damage them. They're pretty soft metal, so beating them up would cause them to leak. So I think it'd be best to get them in fitting kind of roughly where they need to be, slip those on, and then start to bolt them in. Right, just first looks underneath here, I could not be happier with the way these are fitting. So these are perfectly flush. Sometimes with cheaper headers, you'll have one that sits further back. So like my race car, my eBay headers, one actually sits forward or one sits back. I can't remember which, but these sit real nice and flush. The other thing is that they match the angle. I just had these sitting up next to them and they match the angle, which looks really good. And the other thing I'm really happy about is look at how much room for the O2 sensors. Tons of room. There's a bank 1, and then bank 2 is right here, and you can see lots of room. Yeah, so I will pull these out, we will tack those, and then we'll start to put them in for the final time. So I just want to stop for a second and talk about an issue that I've been having, and this has nothing to do with the Flashark headers. I think this would be an issue no matter what headers you put on the car, or even if you were just replacing these gaskets on the original manifold. The head side is slightly beveled. If you don't put the manifold on perfectly right, it kind of does this. You see how it's chewed up a little bit? It's supposed to do this. If you look, you can just barely see that that's starting to get a bevel, so kind of squish on this end. This soft metal is designed to like smush down and then create a single-use seal. So I have been doing this, and if you can see, I started this edge. I just took a file. You could also take this on some concrete and just kind of roll it like this on some concrete and just barely get an edge started. Nothing crazy, just get it so that when you go to put these on the manifold and then bolt them to the head, that these will start the way it's supposed to, instead of wanting to smush out the side or tear. You want to make sure that as you put these in, you'll have 2 bolts, 2 bolts, 2 bolts, 2 bolts. You do the 2 outer ones, and then the 2 inner ones, you can start them by hand. The outer ones are just, I'm saying that because the outer ones are easier to start by hand, and then you just kind of crisscross and just slowly bring that manifold in. You don't want to just like bolt this one all the way down and then bolt this one all the way down, because now you're going to kick your manifold over and it won't sit flush against the head. The other thing I want to talk about is this Icon 1/4 inch Gen 2 ratchet. This has been my best friend for install, and my best friend for removal was my Milwaukee Insider. I don't know why, but for some reason my Milwaukee for installing the headers have been completely useless. So this was really good taking them out. This is really good putting them in. Another thing that I've been using in today's video a lot is this scope camera. I can get up underneath there, see if the manifold is flush against the head. I was able to see what bolts I'm missing. I was able to feed you know, my sockets in there, use this as basically a second set of eyes. So anyway, just kind of wanted to give some tips and tricks. Oh, that's the other thing, is that sometimes there is some gunk from the old gaskets, so make sure that once you pull your old manifold off, that you take a brush or a pick tool and go around each port and make sure that there are no remnants of the old gaskets. I think that's one of the reasons why this one squished. There was a little chunk of gasket still in there. So, okay, back to the install. So I did have to fight the alignment on these just a little bit. It wasn't that bad. Used a pry bar to move it around. I did have to swap out the hardware for some longer bolts. but other than that, that went together fairly easily. It took me about 20 minutes to put that on. Now, this right here, I do have to move this bracket, so I loosened it. One of the reasons why I loosened that was so that these two pipes would move independently just slightly so that I could finish doing those. The other thing is I did put this on. So that plate right there, I think that's what caused most of the issues, was I wanted to make sure I had that plate back on the car. So got that on. I'm gonna slide this down a little bit further so that lines back up, and then we're going to start the car and see what it sounds like. There's the muffler delete there. And yeah, hopefully it's not too loud. Thanks everybody so much for watching. I really do like the way that this turned out. The fitment, like I said earlier, all I had to do was just bevel those gaskets, and we had no issues after that. The exhaust itself is a little bit loud for us, where it's a daily driver, and this is supposed to be kind of our, you know, escape from the race cars. When you drive this car, when we want to be fast and loud, we've got the race cars, and when we want it to be, you know, sporty but quiet, we go into our daily drivers. And so for us, we're probably going to put the muffler back on in this car at some point. We are going to be doing a tune through RevMatch, like I mentioned earlier, and I really wish we would have done a dyno before and after, but I just couldn't seem to get it scheduled like I wanted it to. So we'll probably do one after the tune and everything is on the car, and just see kind of what horsepower, just based on like rough numbers that you see online. So any comments or questions down in the comment section below. Again, really impressed with the way that these mounted up and how good they feel on the car. Little to no fitment issues, just very impressed with them. Again, the link will be down in the description below, and we'll see everybody in the next video.
Bam!